Monday, late morning, social media friends. Welcome to this second episode of Flipping That House, as we have now moved into the month of February. So for our social media friends, we hope, my co-host and I, Catalin, we hope that you had a great jump start to your new year. You finished strong. You accomplished a lot of your goals in the 31 days of January. So here we are. So let me bring in my co-host into the conversation, as he is mobile. I love it. He can multitask, keep his hands 10 and 2, eyes on the road, while still carrying a great conversation with us. Here we go.
Good morning. Happy Monday and happy first week of February, you guys. And yes, I can multitask. Thank goodness for these smart cars and driving an electric car that kind of like helps me around town. It definitely helps with the multitasking and being here, and also for my clients. We just finished up an inspection, and now I'm going to meet a client for a potential listing. So it's been a very productive beginning of the year, and as you said, very happy with the resolutions and all the work that we've done. So I'm super excited to bring value to everybody that's listening and keep the momentum going, right? Because January has ended, but guess what? Life is still going, and we need to make sure we keep pushing forward. So very excited.
Life goes on. Life goes on. So
Yes.
you mentioned, Catalin, that you just finished inspection appointment. So that tells me the market is active.
Very active. Bill, very active. It's absolutely insane. There's not a lot of supply, and there's a lot of buyers on the market. They have good incomes. They now are used to the idea of the 6+% interest rates, that are used with the idea of like, okay, I am tired of paying somebody else's mortgage. I
Right.
am ready. And they understood that, with real estate, a lot of people, have the idea that, you buy and you walk into equity, or you change your life. It's not like that. With real estate, you buy and hold and wait, and, over time you build equity, and you build some wealth and fortune. But again, I always tell people, real estate is a slow and steady game of making money. It's never, get rich overnight.
Yeah, it's impossible to time the market. What you control is the amount of time we are in the market.
100%, 100%, 100%. And just, I would say, especially like we were doing right now, we looked at a three flat. This is, we're inspecting a three flat in the Logan Square area. And if you know, Logan Square is hotter than hot. It's
It is.
insane. And, we found this three flat, absolute gem. The owner already did the plumbing, all copper, the electric, all copper. They've done, all the massive, like brand new furnaces and ACs, and just one layer of roofing, which is huge. So this is a great, gem that my client now will enjoy, live in one unit, and have the other two units, cover most, if not all, of the monthly, mortgage, which is absolutely unbelievable. And then she can live here for a couple of years, and then move out, and have the whole mortgage covered by the tenant. So there's still good deals out there, and yeah, I'm grateful that the market is hot, and we have ton of business.
Yeah, because supply is high, rent is also going up. So I hear.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And it's funny enough is, when when the market is hot, when the economy is great, people come to Chicago because we have jobs and we have some amazing,
Bingo.
restaurants, attractions, and all that good stuff. So, they will want to rent. When the market is low, guess what? Some people will stay on the sidelines and they're like, "Oh, I'm not buying," but they're
Right.
gonna want to live somewhere. So
Right.
I've been a landlord for the past 12 years, and I can tell you that there's only one way that the rents have went only up. I have
Yeah.
not once lowered the rents on my units. It's just there's so much demand out there.
Yeah. Not to mention, I've heard with landlords and investors, some of them, because of tight supply, are being very picky with good tenants, meaning they want rock star credit 3 times in their income against the rent. Have you heard that?
Well, Bill, it's we're I unfortunately, as a landlord, the pendulum and the law is not necessarily on your side in
That's
Chicago,
true.
right? So Chicago is a very tenant friendly city. So
Yep.
your only line of defense that you have as a landlord is your due diligence,
That's
making
right.
sure that whoever lives in your property is a good quality human. And the
Yep.
only way you know that, right? You can't, spend hours and hours and get to know everybody. You just have to do your due diligence and make sure that that tenant has good credit, good
Yep.
income, and a good rental history. And as long as they're good on that end, then you can definitely rent it. And unfortunately, a lot of people got so burned. You put a bad tenant in, and they know how to leverage the system. They know that the landlords have no rights. So
Right.
that is why it's so hard to get rid of bad tenants. So that's why unfortunately, it might hurt some tenants out there with lower credit or lower incomes. But the government, whenever governments get involved and start regulating and making a lot of kind of like harder and harder for business owners to run their businesses, it gets to this point where then it makes it harder for tenants to find good quality places unless they have stellar credit and stellar incomes.
True. And at the end of the day, the landlord and investor is the owner, so you have to play their game.
Absolutely. And gotta play the game. You gotta play the game. You have to understand what's important to them, and then life is good.
Yeah. So let's now pivot the conversation to, in your opinion, Catalin, is it harder to do fix and flips versus develop and build new construction?
Huh. Great question. Depends who you're asking, right? If you're asking me, I'll tell you because I'm a flipper. Flipping a property, I know how to do it. I have
Right.
the right team. I have the plumber, the electrician, the GC. I have the roofer. I have the cabinet installer. I have the cabinet providers and everything else. And I've done it, and I understand the permits and the rules and everything that takes for me to be a successful flipper.
Right.
When it comes to developing, there's additional layers of due
Right.
diligence. So you need to understand. You have to work with a really good architect that understands the zonings, the regulations, how much square footage you can build and develop. They need to understand, the rules and regulations when it comes to, the type of materials that need to be used. It's more complex. Adds to the layer of complexity, I would say, in
Right.
my opinion, because you need to understand, right, how deep you can dig, what type of foundation, what type of construction. There's a lot of different factors that come with a new construction. And because I have never developed or yet I have not developed yet, I would say in my experience it's a lot easier to flip than develop, because then with flipping you have it's easier for you to forecast the after rehab value,
Yep.
because when you rehab, a lot of times you'll find similar homes in the neighborhood that were already rehabbed and sold, and that's how you kind of set your future, compass indicator or where your price will be. But when
Right.
you do new construction, a lot of times, if especially if you're a pioneer, there's some neighborhoods where people haven't developed in a long time, and if you're going there, then you need to really, really, really understand the market, the demand, and the per square footage price in that area. So those are the couple of things that I will always advise, our viewers that are considering, either flipping or developing.
Yeah. I would
Yeah,
add to
I would
that
add to that
with building new
with
construction,
building new
if
construction,
you're developing
if
it,
you're developing it,
you're spot on. It's a
you're spot on.
longer
It's a longer
time horizon,
time horizon,
which then means
which
for
then means
lenders,
for
my side of
lenders,
the business,
my side of the business,
there's an extra
there's
layer of
an
risk.
extra layer of risk.
Yeah. So spot
Absolutely.
on. Spot on.
Spot on. Spot on.
Let's wrap up
Absolutely.
our
Let's wrap
episode
up
today
our
with this
episode
last
today with
thing.
this last thing.
I want to get your opinion
I
on.
want to get your opinion on.
Yes.
As part of
As part
investing
of
in your
investing
fix and
in
flip
your fix
project,
and flip project,
Catalin, where should you
Catalin,
not
where
go
should
too
you not
far?
go too far?
Bill, I gotta tell you, I've seen as both as a flipper and as a realtor, right? So I represent a lot of
Right.
clients
Right.
that are looking to buy properties. Bill, I have to tell you that I've seen so many times terrible, terrible flips where people put what people say, lipstick on a pig.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So they do a terrible job. I always, whenever I do a flip, listen, I need to make sure I sleep well at night. So
Yeah.
I will always put my money in electric, making sure that the electric, panels, the electric wires, the electricity will work and it's in good standing.
Mhm.
Plumbing, making sure that whoever buys this house will not have issues with plumbing in the next year or so. And then lastly, I'll make sure that the roof, the furnace, and everything that's inside, it's good quality and it's functioning, right?
Yeah.
Those are high ticket items. And I always want to make sure that if I sell that house, my client will not have any issues or my buyers will not have any issues and my reputation is not at risk. And then finally, I've seen so many times, oh my goodness, some really terrible tile jobs. um, Listen, make it look nice. It doesn't have to be the most expensive,
Bingo.
tile, the most expensive, cabinets, but quality is quality, and how you install it and how you take pride in your work is key. I would say that's where I focus the most on. Those are the main um, items that I look at.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, that makes
Certainly
sense to me. Certainly,
investing the right
investing
dollars,
the right dollars,
not going cheap with
not
roof is
going cheap
important
with
because
roof is important because
if you don't have a sound
if you
roof,
don't have a sound roof,
everything else that you're spending
everything
money
else
on
that you're
is
spending money on is
flushed down the toilet.
flushed down the toilet.
Right. Literally, exactly. And a lot of flippers think that, hey, we'll do a lipstick on a pig and assume that people will not catch it. Buyers are not, I would say like maybe 1% of the buyers will not catch a poor job, but
Right.
in the rest of 99, they'll bring an inspector, they'll bring a real estate agent that hopefully has experience and guides them to understand, hey, listen, this is just a lipstick on a pig. Move, walk, don't walk, run away from this, right? The kitchen might look pretty, but behind the walls it's just a cancerous building. Like, move away. So
Yeah.
those are the things that
Yeah.
I always look for. I understand that consumers I'm glad we are more and more empowered nowadays with Google, ChatGPT, YouTube, podcasts just like these, and where we bring people value and people now know what to look for. So
Yeah.
whenever I do a flip, I consider that. I don't think my consumers are uneducated or I can trick them. I actually consider that, would I buy this flip? And if I say yes, then it's a good enough flip for others.
Yeah. I would add one
I
more
would add one more
thing to not go cheap
thing
on.
to not go cheap on.
Get a good sump pump.
Get a good sump pump.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So as we wrap up today's episode of Flipping That House, how can you, social media friends, start a conversation with Catalin and myself? All you need to do is scan the QR code that you see here. We will gladly engage you and start a conversation. So as we wrap up, let me ask my music coffee to play us out. Here we go, music coffee.